Goldbeach, British 15th Infantry Division. Goldbeach was one of the two beaches secured by British troops and was the middle of the 5 beaches. Landing time at Goldbeach was 7:25 a.m. However, British forces immediately faced a major problem: the weather. Owing to incredibly strong winds, the German mines and other obstacles on the beach was covered sea weather earlier than expected. As a result, British engineers were unable to disarm them as planned. 20 armored cars was damaged by the heightened mines. The situation could have been a disaster for the British troops had German defenders not been taken up by incredibly accurate naval and aerial attacks. By afternoon, the British had taken control of most of Goldbeach and quickly pushed inland. They also managed to capture the fishing village of Arromash after the site of Mulberry Harbour, which were used by the Allies to unload supplies. The invasion of Goldbeach was a tremendous strategic success. British troops were then able to link up with the Canadian forces that landed on Juno Beach. Juno Beach, Canadian 3rd Infantry. The Canadians were tasked with taking Juno Beach. The plan was to move inland and form a link between the British-occupied Gold and Sword Beaches. However, the Canadians faced a major challenge before they even reached the beach. When they landed When they landed 75 feet 55, the bad weather and rising tide caused German mines to be partially underwater, leaving the Canadian demolition engineers unable to destroy them. The mines took an extremely heavy toll on Canadian landing craft, leaving 30% destroyed or damaged. With the landing craft damaged, many Canadian soldiers circled to wade ashore. The troops who did make it to the beach were hit by a powerful wave of German firepower. The first wave of Canadians on the beaches had about a 50-50 chance of surviving. However, the Canadians were not about to give up, and those who weren't hit kept fighting their way off the beach and farther inland. Once they made it off the beach, German resistance died out, and the Canadians took command quickly. Despite heavy losses, they advanced further inland than troops on any of the other 4 beaches. They managed to capture a number of towns, a critical bridge, and then link up with the British at Goldbeach. It's kind of a long book, so here come the conclusion. Page 18 is still a very long journey towards the last page. But yeah, I lost all my patience so 3 more to go. Okay. Sword Beach, British Third Army. Sword Beach was the other beach raised by British forces. The main goal of this mission was to capture the town of Caen, which was 9.3 miles inland. All the main roads in the region ran through Caen, and control of them was crucial for the Allies to advance successfully. The raid began at 7:25 a.m. as troops stormed the beaches. Paratroopers from the 3rd and 5th Paratroop Brigades landed inland and joined the British troops on the beach. Fortunately, the British met little German resistance, a short in comparison to that on the other beaches. By 8 a.m., most of the fighting was over. By 1 p.m., British commanders had linked up with paratroopers further inland. Everything was going exactly according to plan. However, Sword Beach was not secure for long, as the Germans launched a counterattack. The German 192nd Panzer Grenadier Regiment reached the beach by 8 p.m. It proved to be only a temporary victory for the Germans, as the vehicles were open to attack them from Allied tanks and fighter planes that already arrived at Sword. The German counterattack, although a failure, prevented British troops from linking up with Canadian troops from Juno Beach that day as planned. While the British was unable to reach the town of Caen the same day, the mission was still considered a huge victory for the Allies. Allies forces managed to stabilize the beach, advance roughly 4 miles inland, and repel the German counterattack before meeting up with the Canadians the following day. Allied troops would eventually capture the town of Caen 6 weeks later, on July 20th, 1944. Conclusion. Although the cost in Allied and Axis soldiers' lives were high, Operation Overlord was a tremendous success. Through great sacrifice, alien forces succeeded in gaining a foothold from which to begin to push back German forces and liberate occupied France. While this operation was a tremendous military victory for the Allies, it was also a day of mourning because of the large amount of activity on D-Day. It was difficult to record accurate casualty numbers on either the Allied or the Axis died. The term casualties does not exclusively mean deaths, but rather all losses suffered by the armed forces, killed, wounded, missing in action, and prisoners of war. Historians estimate that the Germans had between 4,000 and 9,000 casualties, and the Allies had more than 6,000 casualties on D-Day. The war dragged on for roughly another year as Allied troops continued to capture German occupied territories in Europe. Germany finally surrendered on May 8, 1945, and Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945 to officially end the war. D-Day and the eventual liberation of France proved to be a significant turning point in World War II. Without the efforts and sacrifices of Allied soldiers on D-Day, the war would have had a much different outcome. Allies, the countries including Great Britain and United States, France, and Soviet Union that aided each other in defeating Germany, Italy, and Japan in World War II. Amphibious, of or relating to military operations involving troops entering enemy territory from the water. Artillery, large guns that fires heavy shells over long distances. Axis powers, the countries, including Germany, Italy, and Japan, that fought against the Allies in World War II. Casualties, people injured, killed, or missing during a war, accident, or disaster. Commanders, members of a military unit specially trained for quick raids in enemy territory. Decoy, a person or object used to trick or lure someone or something away from a target. Drafted, ordered into military service, especially during wartime. Foothold, a position from which one can begin to advance toward the goal. Fortifications, defensive structures built to make something stronger or make more resistant to attack. Forts. Infantry, soldiers trained in giving weapons and gear to find food. Liberation, the act of setting free. Mines, bombs hit underground or underwater that explode when touched or moved. Mourning, grieving or feeling sad, especially for something who has died. Panzer, a type of German tank used in World War II. Paratroopers, soldiers trained to jump out of airplanes and fight behind enemy lines. Repel, to force something away. Wait, why this? What's wrong with this? I am in the middle of reading this and just logged out all of a sudden. So I need to log in again in order to do the quiz. Reading room, and scrolling until you miss the level to book. Z2 level, and our topic today is about the World War II, D-Day, right? So it's somewhere around here. Wait, where is it? Alibaba, The Amazing Brain, believe it or not. Here, D-Day. I've already completed reading, right? Wait for a few minutes for this to download, because you know sometimes the connection is wrong and you just couldn't download it. Okay, so in the meantime, I'll tell you that tomorrow I'm going to sit for the midterm examinations for history, mathematics, and a subject related to architecture, which is kind of hard. But yeah, I haven't done much revision yet, and I'm really afraid that tomorrow I just couldn't, my mind just goes blank, and I just couldn't think of any answers for my examinations. But yeah, I'll try my best, because mathematics is not always easy. Sometimes some kind of mathematics problems, I've just found myself so used to it That just, whenever I meet the questions, I can come up with the right approaches, the right solutions for it. So yeah, that's some kind of equations or problems that I am so accustomed to. Before the other, I just can't think of anything at all. But wait, why the connection just like this? So wait for a few minutes. If you just can't download anymore, I'll need to end this, because that's not my fault. It's not my intention. I don't want to do the quiz because of the connection. I haven't taken any bath yet, so I have to go quickly, or else my mom will be really frustrated. Today I have a class from 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. So after I had dinner, I went immediately to my room to join their online class, and I had no time for my path stuff. Okay, it's now downloading. So just slide to the last page.
Good job.
Now let's do the quiz. I forget most of the information and details because I read it through the noon and I was overtabitched. This one? I don't know. On page 5. What is page 5? Why that was so freaking bad. I mean, I know for some reasons, but recently the downloading is so freaking bad. I just can't put up with it anymore. I think that I need to tell my mom about this, or else if this continues, I would just go crazy. Come on, quickly, dude. I can just spend the whole time waiting for you. Okay, so it says page 5. Page 5 is page 3. Most definitely this one is page 4. Next page is page 5. Come on. Told you, can't spend the whole day waiting for you to download properly. Sometimes I feel so annoyed. This style was so freaking bad. But okay, in the meantime, I'll tell you about the competition I'm going to take. So this Saturday I'm going to have a debate competition. It's called the IB Championship 2023, and this is my very first time I've ever taken part in a debate. Well, before taking this competition, I've just known that debate is kind of a discussion between two teams. One is called the affirmative, one is called the negative team, and each team had 3 speakers: the first speaker, the second one, and the last one. And I also know some basic information about each role. Like the first speaker will introduce about the members of the team and introduce the main point. And I also know about the term rebuttal, which means that you provide evidence or examples to support your opinion and against your opposition fellow, like this. And their second speaker will go in depth about the rebuttal and about the argument, and the third speaker will summarize everything. Oh wait, it's not a load. What is the questions? According to the map on page 5, what countries remained neutral during the war? Okay, so now I have to wait again because of my carelessness. I just didn't pay attention to the question. Now, this is the price I have to pay for. Come on. I'll just answer based on my memory, okay, without any reference. Now it's not even download. That's the problem, because now it's nearly 10 p.m. Haven't taken a bath yet, and now my mom is screaming at me. I think this website is kind of really frustrated. Okay, so in the meantime, I'll be talking more about debate. So just need to understand that each team had 3 speakers, and the third speaker will be summarizing every single things that the other speakers have mentioned, and no new arguments are made. And their third speaker will also provide some kind of relevant examples to support the other teammates. So yeah, that's what I know about debate. And so the only problem I feel really like insecure about this debate is because it doesn't have the topics, and we had no choice to choose the team that we want. Like, we don't even know whether or not we will be in the affirmative or the negative team, so that's kind of predictable. Yeah, I'm still keeping it to the load, so I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Because now I need to take a bath right away, or else my mom will be really sad. Alright, bye.